Thursday, August 8th. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Maybe Tuesday.
Roll call, we're all present. Approve agenda for Tuesday, August 8th. Any additions or deletions?
No, sir.
Move to approve. Second.
We're going to motion to approve in a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Pass with all present. Approve minutes from February 14th, 2023.
The motion to approve the minutes for February 14th.
Second.
We're going to motion a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Pass with all present. Approve minutes from March 14th.
Would move for approval of those minutes. I'll second.
We got a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Pass with all present.
I'd just like to add, John, thanks for having the minutes for us. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you to Monica in our office. She's got the hard job of transcribing.
Okay, item 6. Notice of public hearing. The Way Park Planning Commission will hold a public hearing at City Hall, 19 13th Avenue North, 6:30 as soon thereafter on Tuesday, August 8th, 2023. They hear the following request. Request of material trust created under the James W. Miller Revocable Trust for review of primary and final plat of Industries West Plat 5. The subject property is legally described as that part of Outlot B, Industries West Plat 4. Public hearing opens at 6:32.
Chair Jansky, Planning Commission members, folks in the audience or watching at home. This is a fairly straightforward single lot, single block plat, basically readying this parcel on the screen here. You see bordered in red for potential development somewhere down the line. We've not seen firm development proposal for this property, but that's not a requirement of the planning process. The property is currently vacant and is noted being configured as a single lot, single block, approximately 6.11 acre parcel. The property was previously platted as part of the larger remnant outlot when the parcel to the northwest was sold and platted for development of the Excel Hub, you may recall, fairly recently. The bulk of this property was kept as an outlot, and outlots cannot be developed. They have to be retained for either non-structure purposes or can't be developed until they're assigned a lot block designation. No development may occur on an established outlot, which is why this is being pursued at this time and for potential sale at some point in the future. The property is currently zoned I-1 Light Industrial District. Again, although we don't know the exact nature of the development at this time, it's anticipated that will be of probably a light industrial nature in line with other uses and properties in the area. Utilities to the property are available via Julep Road to the south. The property, as you can see, does have a existing ditch that runs east-west through it. The owners have presented options to potentially fill the ditch, but we don't have to necessarily iron those out at this time. Those are typically handled at the time of a building permit application or as firmer plans come to pass. We have been in contact with the owners regarding options for that, so that coordination is taking place, and we expect it will continue. We will also continue to coordinate with property or with the existing owners, potential future owners, and adjacent property owners regarding any drainage that may occur to the subject property with regards to filling the ditch. Although it's possible and in fact likely that Any cross-property aspects that go from one property to another will need to be privately agreed to or resolved between individual property owners. As the property has not been previously platted, there will be a required payment in lieu of parkland dedication. I'll be preparing a memo and recommendation to the park board for their review and recommendation to the city council. I have not done that yet, but the basis for industrial property is based on 5% of the unimproved or vacant value of the property. So we extrapolate that, basing on the acreage, taking that sliver off of the overall remainder of the property, based on the assessor's office as the starting point. Staff is supportive of the preliminary and final plats as submitted. They do meet the standards for the associated I-1 Light Industrial District as far as frontage and acreage. That's fairly standard parcel for the area, very similar in size to some surrounding it. As this request includes a public hearing component, the Planning Commission will need to hold the public hearing prior to any action on the request. So we have two actions here, the preliminary plat and the final plat, which we can do concurrently. It's not always the case, but cases like this where it's fairly straightforward, it's more often than not the case. I would recommend approval of the preliminary plat with the following condition, single condition in this case. Number one, property is subject to requirement for payment in lieu of parkland dedication as recommended by Park Board and established by the City Council. Any required parkland dedication fees must be paid prior to affixing of city signatures upon the plat. And that can be paid either by the current owner or a potential future owner, but we do require that those fees are paid to the city before we'll affix the signatures to the plat, so that can be filed and recorded. Provided that the conditions of the preliminary plat are satisfied, I'd also recommend approval of the final plat. Good little, not real little, 6 acres little. Good aspect for this area. Hopefully it brings some additional development in the future. Open it up for any questions? Yes, sir.
Got a question, the ditch, is that part of the ditch, County Ditch 17?
I believe so. The applicant, the representative is here. I know that there's already been some discussion with city engineer and public works director, and I believe that the applicant has previously worked with the Sauk River Watershed District as far as not watershed.
Yeah.
It's failing. Okay, that's failing me. Sorry. As far as I think they've already had a letter that states that they could potentially fill the ditch for this section.
I guess I would like that very clearly stated, because the Mick properties just went through that as far as draining their properties into that County Ditch 17. County Ditch 17 goes all the way back to Pleasant Lake, and it's critical for drainage for quite a few properties. And if it is indeed part of that, I guess we'd have to have pretty clear certification from Sauk River Watershed District that it's not a problem, because I think that would be, I think we should have that before we do any approval of plat. Maybe someone's here who can address it, but if it's part of Ditch 17, we've been going around with that for quite a while because it goes through our own property.
Yeah, these have already been, those discussions have been taking place for some time, and those get a little bit past me as far as, you know, the specialties involved with that, but the applicants were forthright in bringing that to our attention, that it was something that they've been working with the Watershed District on. As far as, you know, looking at options, nothing is set in stone yet, but you know, we'll certainly abide by whatever determinations are made. It's, you know, something that is probably a little bit higher grade than we necessarily have power over, if it's a county aspect or, you know, a regional aspect.
Has to be approved by the Watershed District, as far as if we approve.
I'm just wondering if that has to be made as part of a condition, for instance. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that would be in the development phase. plating is basically just a property description. It has nothing to do with what lays on the land or underneath it.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, but we're talking about filling this ditch in.
That would be in the development phase, though. That would be the permits, which then they would have to go through the watershed, DNR, et cetera, before their building permit would be
yeah,
issued.
that typically comes as part of the development plan, and I can't say for certain that there is any proposed impact to the ditch or not. I don't know at this time.
Okay, okay.
You know, we will typically, you know, with this, we're, for lack of a better way to describe it, we're drawing a box around the property, giving it a name and preparing it for that eventuality. I don't know if that will come sooner or later. Perhaps, Mr. Basil can fill us in a little bit, but, it is something we're aware of that
Okay.
we'll need to iron it out. I don't know exactly what that will look like just yet,
Okay.
but.
That's good.
So we've all got good people that are far better versed in this than I am. I know enough to be dangerous, but not enough to sign the to sign the documents.
Mr. Jansky, can I respond to that, please? My name is Tom Basil. I'm here representing the Jim Miller Marital Trust. That entire ditch there, all the way out to ditch 17, probably 10 years ago was abandoned by Stearns County and the Watershed District. We have and they have given us approval to fill that, so that shouldn't be a condition here. The new ditch 17, when that was put in 10, 15 years ago at least probably, that takes care of all of this. We also have a meeting scheduled next Wednesday night, I believe, with the Watershed District to put the remaining, this parcel and the rest of the 80 acres plus or minus into the Watershed District's control. At this point, it is not part of the Watershed District's oversight. So that is next Wednesday evening, I believe.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I got the letter on that.
Okay. So anyway, that should be abandoned, and we do have approval from the authorities, if you will, to fill that
Okay.
in.
Okay. I didn't know if this was a part of it, or it sounds like this is a old part that's not needed anymore. So-
Correct. This was the old ditch 17. They put the new ditch 17 in west of that, going north-south on the west side of this property.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Other questions from the public or? No, not about that. Commissioners?
John, excuse me, are there any restrictions of what you can't build out there?
As far as what can or can't be built, it really just has to follow the zoning ordinance. So you're gonna see, again, I don't know the nature of the development, but whatever you might see is gonna be in line with, if it's gonna be pursued without needing a rezoning or anything, and I can't say a rezoning would probably likely be received very well in this area. We expect it'll be in line with others in the area as far as probably some sort of a terminal or light industrial type business, something along those lines. But you know, the I-1 Light Industrial District is fairly flexible for things of an industrial nature, warehousing or construction type activity. You see, it's not on this screen, but to the south, along 23, the Lamar site that's recently completed that constructs billboards, those sorts of things, manufacturing, not heavy manufacturing. That's not something we have allowed in that area. So not like a smelting plant or a rendering plant or things like that are, you know, terribly obnoxious or a lot of smell or those sorts of things. But I'd anticipate something very similar vein to the remainder of the area. Perhaps some outside storage, probably some level of gravel surface for trucks and, you know, heavy trucks, semi-tractor trailers, those sorts of things. That's probably pretty likely.
If it were to be something that might be controversial, I presume it would have to come back here for approval.
If it's anything that would be considered a conditional use, it really comes down to what the proposal would exactly be, and I don't have any insight to share on that. And If I did, I probably couldn't share it at this time anyway, and that might be getting the cart in front of the horse. There are some scenarios where if it's a conditional use, you could see it in the future. Otherwise, if it's something that's considered a permitted use, it just goes by right unless they're pursuing some sort of a variance or something where they want to reduce the setback or build it taller than standard or make it larger for any reason. We don't see a lot of conditional uses in the I-1 district just because it's pretty broad by nature.
You?
Motion to a close?
I
Second.
second.
Motion is second to close public hearing. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Public hearing closed at 6:45.